Terence Crawford has been looking for some pretty big money fights to take on, but now Floyd Mayweather has called Terence out. After Terence's performance against Errol Spence, a lot of fighters are claiming that Terence Crawford is one of the best fighters out there, and he's gotten quite a few comparisons to Floyd Mayweather. Carl Frampton gave a controversial opinion, and it's opened up all sorts of fantasy fight predictions. Carl stated, "There's a big statement that I want to make here. The fighter of our generation, everyone will probably agree, is Floyd Mayweather. I think that Terence Crawford is now the fighter of our generation. That performance beats Floyd Mayweather at his best, at welterweight. I genuinely believe that." According to Terence, he'd beat Floyd himself if it came down to figuring out who was pound-for-pound king.
So if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, okay, I'm just asking. Floyd was pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody. I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
Shane Mosley has fought Floyd Mayweather before, and he thinks that Crawford could be a big problem for Floyd. Shane stated, "Crawford's got the same mentality that I've got. He's hungry and he's going to come after you. Mayweather's very tricky, but Crawford would go both right-handed and left-handed, which would be a big problem for Mayweather. If Mayweather gets hit by Crawford, it might not end well for Mayweather. It might be over. But Mayweather could outbox Crawford because Crawford has the mindset of trying to knock you out, and Mayweather is used to people coming and trying to hit him hard all the time. I would go more with Crawford because he's stronger, powerful, and has different punch angles. Crawford beats Money Mayweather, but Crawford beats Pretty Boy Mayweather. I don't know." Jim Lampley thinks that everyone got a nice idea of what Crawford is capable of in his fight against Errol Spence, and he would be more interested to find out where each fighter would be in their career if they met up. Jim stated, "Floyd Mayweather is an all-time great. Terence Crawford, I think, will turn out to be an all-time great. So it's very hard to pick, and I think it would depend on what moment in Mayweather's career and what moment in Crawford's career are we talking about that taking place. Obviously, we just saw what would appear to be the showcase Terence Crawford performance. Would you call Pacquiao the showcase Mayweather performance? I mean, where would you place that marker? Because I believe Floyd became a little more of a banker and was a little more conservative as he went along. So I wouldn't want to pick that fight until I saw at what moment in their careers such a thing would take place." Jeff Mayweather liked the idea of seeing the two fighting in their primes, and he thought that they'd do well at 135.
In their prime, I mean, it'd be a great fight. I mean, both guys are pretty much masters at what they do. And, I mean, of course, I'm going to go with Floyd. I think that Floyd IQ and Floyd's defense was immaculate, and it depends on what weight class you're talking about them fighting at. I think that if they're talking about 35, I think the fight would even be greater for both of them because that's probably they're both at their best. I mean, Floyd was probably best at 30, but I mean, at 135, he still had his, he still was actually fighting with his power more than with his brain, because as he went to, the higher Floyd went in weight, the more he started to fight, the smarter he started to fight.
Tim Bradley believed that Terence Crawford would come out on top as one of the greats, and he likes his odds against Floyd. Tim stated, "Terence Crawford would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you right now, he would beat him. Crawford, a master thinker just like Floyd, has the advantage that he not only can fight orthodox, but is versatile and can fight in the southpaw stance. What happens when you have a guy just as smart as you are and able to make adjustments like Crawford? A guy that's powerful, quick, and strong like Crawford. A guy that can fight you in the pocket." Shakur Stevenson is a big fan of both fighters, and in the end, he didn't think he could pick one to beat the other. Shakur stated, "I think that's interesting. It depends on what Floyd is in the ring. There are different versions of Floyd. Bud now versus the version of Mayweather that fought Canelo. Man, that's a hell of a fight. It's hard to say though because Bud is a southpaw. He can punch with both hands. It would only take one mistake from Floyd. But Floyd is the king of not making mistakes, so it's hard to say. I don't feel like I could sit down here and tell you a real answer. Terence's trainer, Brian McIntyre, believes that Terence would beat Floyd if they fought each other's prime version. Brian stated, "Terence is the best. He's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. There are two things. For one, Crawford is like my son, so I'm always going to go with him. Terence has that dog in him. Terence didn't get to where he is now overnight. It's taken years and years. But if you put Bud in there in his prime with Mayweather in his prime, then of course Mayweather is going to be the smarter one, but I think Bud will have more dog in him." When Keith Thurman talked about Terence's fight with Errol Spence, he pointed out that this was something that Floyd never accomplished in his career. Keith stated, "These are two undefeated champions. The real thing is that Thurman was not supposed to slip up in 2019. If I was an undefeated champion, we would have been unified titles together. Two champions of this caliber, undefeated, going to unify the entire division, doing something unprecedented, something that Floyd Mayweather never accomplished in his career. This is what our generation needs. They need that to gain the status. They're both future Hall of Famers, but somebody's just gonna have a few more words to say on their plaque at the end of the day. That's what fighting is all about." Randy Gordon believes that Floyd's mastery would have been too much for Terence if they met in the ring. Randy stated, "I think the boxing mastery of Floyd would have been too much for Crawford, who we may be elevating into a boxing stratosphere he has not reached yet. Let's not put the cart before the horse." Nate Jones doesn't think that Floyd should be messing around with fighting a young man's game against some of the better, younger fighters, though.
If Floyd came back and came back in the game and took it serious to come back in the game and fight Errol Spence or Crawford, do you think he have a chance?
No.
Think he have a chance with neither one of them?
No. Age, man. Like Michael Jordan have a chance with on Jock Morant. You know what I mean? John Morant. Michael Jordan old. He's old now. He won't be able to stick them guys. Michael Jordan's sticking. Come on, man. Floyd, no. Floyd windows has closed. He don't need to be in a big fight no more. He don't need it. Cause I think he could hurt.
He getting big fight money off expedition. He getting paid more off expeditions than they getting paid for their real fight.
Yeah, keep doing them. But don't fight Errol Spence.
Zab Judah definitely sees Terence's skills, but he pointed out that Floyd is great in every era. Zab stated, "You know Crawford, his ability, how he breaks down his fight. I don't think that he's the only guy that, could be in the same generation, 100%. Floyd has proven to be good in every era. I think that he wasn't given enough time to finish the answer. That is why it came out like that." At one point, Terence Crawford was asked if he would try to beat Floyd's record of 50-0, and he named the fighter who he thought was the greatest of all time. Terence stated, "Nah, I ain't ever thought of reaching 50-0. That's Mayweather's thing. That's his record. I commend him. He can have that. It'd have to be Mayweather, everything. Not just because of the record, fighting style, everything that surrounds Money Mayweather. It would have to be Mayweather." When Terence was asked about potentially fighting Floyd Mayweather, he seemed to think that they'd moved on to the next level of fighting. Terence stated, "If you put me in the ring with any of the great fighters from around my weight class, past, present, or future, I'll hold my own with them. That's just how I feel. I just feel like our styles have evolved from the older fighters. They paved the way for us and the things that they adored and were doing in the ring. We mimic them, but we take it to the next level, but I think I hold my own with any of those guys." Well, according to Calvin Ford, he's heard rumors that Floyd said he'd come out of retirement to fight if Terence beat Spence.
Question is Floyd gonna come out of retirement
and fight
Crawford? I remember a statement he said if Terence beat Spence, he'll come out of retirement. So
wow. Okay, that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Floyd. Okay, break it down, Calvin. Floyd against Crawford.
That's a good one, you get what I'm saying? Because you got the old GOAT great, you get what I'm saying, against the new GOAT great.
TBE versus the pound-for-pound king.
Yeah, so that's a good one. That one, the pay-per-views would be stupid.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.